Hi guys, it's Cyndi, aka The Queen. Today we're going to discuss budgeting for Disney World, so stay tuned. Hi guys, it's Cyndi, aka The Queen. Today I thought we would sit down and discuss how I was able to go to Walt Disney World on a really tight budget. I think I wrote down the amount that I spent, and it was just over $1,000, which still kind of makes me cringe because that's a lot of money. But in reality, I had a lot of help. It wasn't something I did by myself. I had friends and family who blessed me to be able to go on this trip. And I would not have been able to go otherwise. But I thought I would share my thought process as to how this came about and how I started to save, because to me that is the key. Is if it's something that you really want to do, you have to save for it, especially if you're in my shoes. So when I say that, I mean my family has gone to Disney World many times over, and I want to say, with the exception of maybe the first time we went, we do not use credit cards. We always save to pay for our trips. Yes, there are emergencies that come up that sometimes, people have to use a card. But if I don't have the cash in hand or in my account specifically for that, because that's separate from whatever else you might have going on, then we don't go. And that's why our trips are they're many years in between. On average, between 4 and 5 years in between our Disney World trips. And we've been going for quite a while. Our first trip was back in 1998. And so we've been going for a while, but not as frequently as some people do. One year we went within a span of we went twice within a span of a year, because we happened to get annual passes for a really good price. I can't afford an annual pass now. I mean, it's in the thousands of dollars. Now, granted, I think if you're someone who frequently goes and can afford to do that, then getting an annual pass, does save you a little bit, because ticket prices are kind of crazy right now. But I'm going to tell you how I did it. So when I'm working on a budget, especially for like Disney, the first thing I have to start doing in my mind is laying out what the costs are going to be. What am I going to be spending money on? This particular trip was the first time that I've ever gone by plane. We always usually would drive. My husband would drive. We'd spend the night somewhere halfway there, and then we would arrive at our hotel and at the resorts the following day. This time I was going with my daughter to celebrate her 39th birthday. And the trip had taken on, there were a couple of times where we were going back and forth as to when I could come, how much it was going to cost me, and I just did not see it happening. But then, I don't know, I'm not really sure. I just said, okay, I'm going to see how much I can save so that I can try to make this trip. It had been a long time. Even talking to my therapist, it was like this was an opportunity for me to do something that was just for me. It's not something that I regularly do. And it was just a good time for me to just kind of push myself a little bit. I will say, yes, I had a lot of help, but I would say this is the first time that I have ever gone on a trip where the cost truly fell on me to take care of my end of it. So the first thing we started talking about was transportation. We were going to be taking a plane. My daughter had some points because she travels a lot. And so she was like, if you can pay the portion that the points won't cover, then that will help us, get you towards your goal. So this is the thing, guys. With her points and my $50, that's all it took. With her points and my $50, I was able to get on the plane with her for our trip to Walt Disney World. So kind of once that was straightened out, and I knew, okay, I have a plane ticket, because that's a big thing, is a plane ticket. You can't really go if you don't have a plane ticket. We started working on the next goals, and we as in me, and then in my head trying to figure out, okay, how many reefs do I have to, because my next goal was my ticket. Because I'm flying into Orlando to go to Walt Disney World. Originally, we were looking at me going for 3 days. I was like, if I can go to Magic Kingdom and Epcot, I'll be happy. If I don't go to Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom, it's no big deal. Then Disney came out with a special where you could go to 4 parks for 4 days for $99. I think it was a day. And that was cheaper than if you bought for each day. And I was okay with that. I was like, okay, I'll go for 4 days, and then I'll go to Disney Springs. I'll go around to the resorts. I had it all planned out in my head. I had it all planned out on a spreadsheet. And then because my daughter had added me to her room, because that was the other thing, I didn't have to pay for my room on this trip because my daughter was already going and she was already paying for the room. And so to help me, she said, you don't have to pay for the room. That's already covered. So that took a big load off of what I actually had to pay. I would say if you're going with someone and you split it up, I have to look up how much a room costs right now, because I remember a time where you could stay at a value resort and it was like $89, $79 a night, at the most $99 a night, depending on what time of the year it was. Yeah, it's like $149, and in some places it's like $200 for the value resort. So yeah, it is not cheap. But this particular occasion, that was not on the list of things that I needed to save for. So I moved on to saving for the park ticket. Like I said, we were going to do the $99 a day special, which meant I wouldn't be park hopping, which kind of made it limited as to how often I could hang out with my daughter, who under the package that she had was basically her entire trip, 5-day. I think she had a 5-day park hopper, and she had a $200 food credit. So as we got closer to the time, and because she was adding me to her already previously booked trip, they told her basically that I could be added to her room, but I would be considered like a day guest. It was kind of strange, and we really weren't understanding for sure. And it was conflicting, because someone even said, well, just explain it to them when you get to the desk. Well, that didn't set right with me, is in the sense that she basically would have to meet me if I wanted to go back to the room, because I wouldn't have a room key. I wouldn't be able to use if I wanted to go to the pool, I wouldn't be able to go to the pool. I just didn't want there to be any issues or problems with her. So I started saying, okay, I really need to get to the point where I have the same ticket that she has, so they will add me to her room so that she doesn't have to continuously be watching out for me, or me needing to call her for, if there's some issue. If I'm on the room, then there shouldn't be any issues. And so that actually made it where I had to bump up my original $400 ticket to a $628 ticket for a 5-day hopper. Now, I know you can not do the hopper, but I had to have the exact same ticket that she did in order for them to put me on the room. And I actually prefer a hopper, and I will tell you why I prefer a hopper, but you don't need a hopper. I like the flexibility of going from one park in the morning to another park in the afternoon. And that actually worked out really well because there were a couple of days where I did not go back to the park. And if I had just the, park ticket for just the one place, then I wouldn't have been able to see and do as much as I was able to do because I had the flexibility of the park hopper. But now, if you're really on a really tight budget, you do not have to do the hopper. You can pick a park, but I do feel like it makes it where you find yourself wanting to stay in that park from sun up to sundown. And at almost 60 years old, that's not how I want to do vacation. I love the parks, don't get me wrong, but I do not want to stay in them from sun up to sundown. And I like, again, the flexibility of going to Magic Kingdom in the morning and then going to Epcot for the evening and finishing out the day at Epcot. Or in some cases, going to Magic Kingdom in the morning, now that the park reservation is gone, to then go over to Hollywood Studios for the afternoon and then go to Magic Kingdom or Epcot in the evening. That is the flexibility of either having a hopper or having a annual pass. You cannot do that with a one-day park ticket. So my 5-day hopper cost me $628. So we're at now $50 for transportation by plane, and then my park ticket is $628. After that, we had to figure out how we were going to get from the airport to the hotel. We could have taken a Lyft or an Uber, but my daughter had used Sunshine, Flyer, and Mears, and that year that we went last year, those two businesses had connected and become one and become Mears Connect, I think is what it's called. And so we decided to go with Mears Connect because it just seemed like the most logical point for us with our luggage and with excuse me, with our luggage and with the two of us, it just being the two of us by ourselves. And to me, I don't know if that was the case for her, it felt safer to be on a bus with other people rather than in a car, in a Lyft and Uber. And I know that in most cases they're fairly safe, but I just felt better about using the bus system. So that costs $35 round trip. So to pick us up at the airport and take us to the hotel and then pick us up on our last day and bring us back to the airport was $35. Again, like I said, in this particular occasion, I did not have to pay for the resort accommodations, but I will look it up and tell you what it will cost for a resort. I think we were there 6 nights. And then you can calculate the math on that if you're dividing it up between several people. I do have an all-star music resort review. I will put that in the information box below so that you can see what it's like, because I would say if you are on a budget and you're wanting to stay on property, which does have a few perks, then I would say stay at one of the value resorts, specifically music and sports. For some reason, movies tends to be more expensive than the other two, but any other value resorts are going to still be less than, in most cases, than staying at one of the moderates or definitely staying at one of the deluxe resorts. Now, my daughter had decided that she wanted to do 2 specialty dinners for her birthday week. And we were actually celebrating her birthday on her birthday week. And the last day that we were in the parks was her actual birthday. So she decided on Ohana and Crystal Palace. Ohana is at the Polynesian Resort, right outside of Magic Kingdom, and the Crystal Palace is inside of Magic Kingdom. So you do have to have a ticket to go to dinner at the Crystal Palace at Magic Kingdom. You do not have to have a park ticket to go to Ohana's for dinner. You just have to make your reservations. So Ohana's dinner, not including tax, is $70. And yes, that seems like a lot of money for one person for one meal. And it is. Not gonna lie to you, it is. But our family loves Ohana. It is one of our favorite restaurants to eat at, and it is definitely a splurge. And so that is not something that you have to do on your trip. That is what she wanted to do for her birthday. You can enjoy Disney and just go to the quick service restaurants and get hamburgers, hot dogs, pizza, chicken tenders, which are excellent, French fries, salads. You can do this on a budget. And I'll talk more about the food in a few minutes. At least that part of using quick service or whatever. So then the next meal was the Crystal Palace breakfast. I won't go into details about each of the restaurants because I do have separate videos about those two restaurants, and I will put links below. But her second choice was Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace's breakfast was $50. Again, a lot. This is a buffet meal, and it is a character meal. So basically you are paying for the fact that there are Disney characters there. And then you have to add on the fact that you have to have a Magic Kingdom park ticket in order to get into Crystal Palace in the first place. Now, non-Disney meals. Originally, I had been given a bunch of dining cards for my birthday, and me and my crazy self thought, oh, I'll just order from Panera and have it delivered to the room. Oh, I'll just order from Olive Garden and have it delivered to the room. And that would cut down on some of the meals that I needed to worry about the cost for. Nice sentiment, great idea, but the problem is, with the exception of Panera, I think it was just because I had a Cheesecake Factory card, I had an Olive Garden card, and I had a Panera card. And I was like salivating, thinking about being able to eat those foods. Panera is the only place that would deliver to the resort for less than $100. You had to basically, to use the Cheesecake Factory, you had to have an order that was over $100. And I don't even think or was that Olive Garden? That might have been Olive Garden. I don't even think Cheesecake Factory delivered. So yeah, that went out the window. So then I was like, okay, I really need to make sure that my budget for food is at the minimum that I can do. So I think I budgeted myself about $25, $30 a day, which meant I needed to take snacks with me to have some type of breakfast in the morning so that I wasn't having to get breakfast. So I took like granola bars. I had cheese crackers. I had like this little water flavoring thing that I could put in a bottle of water. But what we ended up doing was we ended up buying the refillable mug. The refillable mug at the resorts are good if you're going to use them. And we definitely used ours. They cost $22. It's not necessary for you to get them. If you're going to, I would say an alternative to that is to do like Instacart and have some light groceries items and big cases of bottled water delivered to your room, which you can do, or from Walmart. And then you won't have to use that. You could get your favorite drink or soda or whatever. But we decided that was easier for us. It's just the two of us. We each got a cup. It was our souvenir because we hadn't planned on getting a lot of souvenirs. And so we made a point of going each morning, each time we came back during break, and even when we came back at night, we kept our cups on us on carabiner clips on our backpacks, and so we could refill our drinks. And what I ended up getting most of the time was vitamin water, just because I knew I needed to keep, some electrolytes going and drinking some water. They had a little area where you could get water. Then I could flavor it with my drink mix. And so I definitely got my $22 worth out of my cup. But it's not necessary if you have a means to either go off property and bring in a cases of water or your favorite drink, juice, whatever. And so I factored that into my budget for my breakfast. But like I said, I also had snacks. I had granola bars. I had a few things that right now at this moment it's not coming to me what those things are. And so we had packed some of that and took it with us. Because originally we were going to just order some things once we got there. We ended up not even needing to do that. So I would get like a drink in the morning, granola bar, stick it in my backpack, take it with me. And then I would get a lunch that was from the quick service restaurants. Most of the time I ordered from the children's menu. I think the most I paid for one of my mid-lunch meals was like $12.95 or $14.95, I think. But most of the time I ordered off the kids' menu. Didn't have any problems ordering off the kids' menu because it was the quick service. Now, if you're at a sit-down restaurant, you can't order off the kids' menu, of course. So on average, I spent $12 or $13. Then I allotted some money for some type of snack later on to like just kind of fill me up. So yeah, I didn't really eat a lot, and I'll be honest with you guys, it was so hot. I didn't have the appetite to like eat a lot of food. And so I would have a snack in the morning with my vitamin water. I would get a lunch and I would get a big cup of water from the kiosk, and that didn't cost me anything. And then I would get some type of snack for the evening. And that's what I ate. My youngest daughter, she was like concerned that I wasn't going to have enough to eat. She helped me. She gave me some cash so that I could have some money for my meals. And that really helped me out. I had several family members and friends who brought wreaths from me that I made. I made several wreaths that helped to pay for my ticket for the park. I had friends and church members who handed me cash just before I left and said, here is a gift for you to enjoy your vacation. And that helped me. Like I said, I didn't do a lot of shopping. I brought 2 pair of ears and that was it. And and I enjoyed myself. I have pictures that are good memories as souvenirs. Definitely have my videos that are good memories as souvenirs. And so, yeah, I did not overdo it. Okay, so we've covered the 2 meals, the Ohana and the Crystal Palace. I got a refillable mug. Was not able to use my dining cards, which I'm still just kind of upset about that. But I've used them since then. And then my daughter had purchased the photo pass. And I had originally hoped to help her pay for the photo pass and split the cost with her. But then when we upgraded my ticket, that took the money that I would have given her for the photo pass. So the photo pass was $130 or $40. I'm not really sure. I think it was less because she got it before. She definitely purchased it before we left. So that's the thing. If you decide you want the photo pass, purchase it before you get to Disney, because then the cost goes up. Unfortunately, the cost has gone up since our last trip, and so it's like $160 now. So it's not necessary, but it was something that her and I really and truly enjoyed, because we took advantage of it and used it wherever we saw a photo pass photographer. We were on it, and so there was no additional cost, because once you get there, it's going to cost you even more to do it. So I would say, if it's important to you, especially if you're going by yourself and you want nice pictures from your time at the parks, then I would say it's worth it for that. But if you're going with like a large group of people, they can take pictures for you, then you don't need it as much. I spent 2 days in the parks by myself, so it helped that there were people around who could take pictures for me, and professional looking pictures at that. So let's see. I've covered my counter service meals. My goal was $200. I think I ended up having $160 for my meals, not including my special dinner meals. That was a separate budget altogether. So, as a matter of fact, I want to say I came home with $50 in my pocket. So, yeah, so meals were $160. And I based that originally on spending no more than $25 to $30 a day for meals, not including snacks that I brought, and not including a snack that I would get to supplement in the evening. Because honestly, by the time I came back to the hotel in the evening, I was all right with some of the snacks that I had in the room. And like one time I got a pretzel, then I got a cheeseburger roll. And so it's not that I didn't eat, I just didn't eat a lot. And that was fine, because like I said, it was just too hot. Food was not the top, I hate to say it, but food was not the top priority for me. So honestly, guys, that is what I spent. And my total for that 6 days, 7 nights, keep in mind, I did not have to pay full price for an airplane ticket. I did not have to pay full price for a room. I didn't have to pay for the room at all. I took care of my most of my food needs, and I took care of my park ticket and the 2 special dinners and any souvenirs that I got. And I spent a total of $1,095. Is that normal? Of course not. You will probably have to add about $500 more additionally to that if you're splitting a room with someone. So you're looking at between $1,500 and $1,600. Is that a lot of money? Yes, it is. Is that something that we do on a regular basis? No, it is not. Would I like to? Of course. But I know in reality that's not within my realm of possibility. And especially, like I said, because when I go on these trips, I do not use a credit card. I pay for everything. One of the ways that I've always saved, I did have some help from family and friends. Majority of what I spent was money that I saved. Each year, whenever I go on a trip, I have a piggy bank full of coins. Every time I get change, I stick it in there. No matter how many years that it's in between a trip, I always fill up that piggy bank. And on this particular occasion, when we went to turn in the money from my piggy bank, I had $60 in just change. So I would say you can do a Disney trip. You just have to be extra careful, and you have to save. Unless you know that you are that you don't really have to worry about a budget if you're one of those people who knows that if you use your credit card, you're going to pay it back within 30 days. I would say save. It may take you a year. It may mean not going to Starbucks. It may mean not going out to eat as much. It may mean anytime you get change, when you buy something, if you buy it with cash, that also helps. If you're not always, buying, just hitting that card, your debit card. If you have cash and you spend cash, when you have your change back, stick it in a piggy bank. If you don't think you can do that you're not going to be that disciplined, then the other thing I would say is get a travel account and put money in it every month. And you can save to do it. It does take some discipline. It does take some hard work, but it can be done. And so, guys, that is how I budget for Walt Disney World. I hope that this was helpful to someone in some instance. If you have any questions, if Disney planning is new to you and you have some questions, you can just leave them below. I love answering questions. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? You're missing out on all the fun. And until I see you, and if you want to know when the next video will come out, all you have to do is hit that little notification bell below. So until I see you next time, guys, have a blessed day. Bye.